anything in Indonesia. And basically, my dad said the same thing, um, like your parents. Don't get involved in politics. It's dirty and it's gonna get you in trouble. Um, and so that's the only thing I would add. Really encourage the diaspora network, the overseas students network, to not forget about their home country, to continue to read news from their home country, and start to read between the lines as to what they read about news back home and what they hear about their home country from the perspective of other people.
Let's go to someone who hasn't had a chance yet. This woman. Right here. Actually, okay, you'll be next. Go ahead. Okay, and you'll be next.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Sawai Ismail, and I'm from Peshawar, Pakistan. My question is from Elina, actually, because I actually want to know that, how did you manage to get the data to put it in the digital form? Because we also did election monitoring in 2013, and there were so many challenges. But I would like to know that specifically, some technical question, and what was the reaction of the political parties in Indonesia? Like, how was your idea being supported, or you were faced any challenges, and then what strategies did you develop to counteract those challenges from the political parties?
Thanks, and just pass the microphone back to him, and he can have the next question.
I am Lobsang Satin. I'm one of the Tibetan delegates. I thought of adding a small comment on the earlier question of how to attract the younger generation in politics. I was a college student in Bangalore, and that's how I got interested in politics. It's because we, younger generation, are very restless and are really frustrated with what's going on, and you just want to express it. And there was this one very interesting Serbian activist, which he said, younger generation are really important when it comes to politics, but no one says how to attract the younger generation. And this interesting guy, he said, to attract the younger generation in politics, you have to make the politics sexy in terms of how you express it. And this is how I got interested in Bangalore when I was in college. I was part of this organization called Students of Free Tibet. The way they were expressing their frustration towards the Chinese government, it's so sexy, like it's a concert or a flash mob or freeze mob. You're trying to create awareness, but then at the same time, you're also hitting the target. You're giving what the younger generations need, and this is what I felt. And my question is to the gentleman from Cambodia. You seem to have developed this very interesting idea of politics coffee. So I would ask you, how much humor do you use in this concept to attract the younger generation? Because as my friend from Vietnam said, most of the younger generation who are interested in politics but are scared of trying to express it. But as a humor is something that that pulls you to the next level. So how much of humor do you use in your concept of politics coffee? Thank you.
Thanks. Elina, you first, and then.
So I'll try to be very brief. Kawal Pemilu wouldn't have happened if the elections agency did not put up the scan publicly. They actually put up every single scan, 472,000 of them, on their website. So what happened was that we actually just crawl their website. So whenever a new scan came up, we would have a copy of it. Only a programmer can do that. So, but basically, we have every single copy, a scan of every single copy, and that made the work possible. And reaction from political parties were mixed, because basically our results validate the official vote count that says Joko Widodo was president-elect. And so, of course, the coalition of parties that were supporting him were very pleased with our data, and they're telling all their party members and their voters to all go to our website. Well, on the other side, so basically we're at the same time, our tabulation question where Prabowo Subianto and his coalition of parties got their data from, because our data came from the election agency, and basically it validates Joko Widodo's win. So we got very mixed reaction, and so we had people praising us to the high heavens and sending us prayers and kind of like greetings and stuff like that. And we had people accusing us to be CIA spies and CIA spies and kind of North Korean hackers and what have you. And but the thing was that being the last website to launch, we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We knew those allegations will come because the same thing happened to our predecessors. And because of that, from a communication perspective, we were prepared, and that's when we used humor, and infographics and endorsement, because those were a lot more effective in deflating this credibility attack than if we had done the talking ourselves. Thank you.
Good question. I got a lot of criticism from my friend when I post. I have a website, Poltikoffee.com, and half of the core member, female, young, cute, and just sexy. So and we are volunteer to work for free for society. So I try to post article that the young analyst writing, but when I change the picture of one of my core member, the young lady, second year student, so 100 comment in that one, and they also accuse me that you are trying to use a cute lady, cute young girl to attract politics, and this really worked. I get a lot of youngster, a lot of male friend to come to join face-to-face discussion, because you have a lot of co-organizer that's young female. So, and in Cambodia politics in last 2013 election, opposition also has a lot of cute lady during the election campaign, and people also discuss about that. A lady has more like than the opposition leader. The opposition leader, you know, she's in high school but very young and very beautiful, and she got a lot of support. She has a lot of donation as well from Khmer diaspora, Cambodian diaspora in US, in France, in Europe. So it really worked. And for Poltikoffee, we try to make it simple. I used to invite member of parliament. I used to invite ambassador in Cambodia to talk with us, to dialogue, to discuss politics. And I tell them, sir, please come as informal as possible. If you come like this, for example, that no one, I mean the way he wears, not it's sexy, but you are trying to segregate, to divide from the youth, the simple people who just come with bicycle, and you wear with a nice car with a clothes like that, so you already divide. So come with a t-shirt, short pant, and then come to discuss politics. And after that, Poltikoffee, after we discuss, we have ping pong. We play ping pong, we play sport, and sometimes we watch movie together. It's like a culture of openness, fraternity. You make us a friend, you make us a brother, to talk something for national interest, for a national solidarity among Cambodian youngsters. Make it simple. Yeah.
Let's have somebody who hasn't had a chance. This lady.
Hello. Thank you so much for all the panelists for the great presentations. My question is to all Ritthy from Cambodia. My name is Sering Somo. I'm from the Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy. From the panelists from Cambodia, it was really inspiring to hear what you have to say. As a Tibetan, I'm already envious of you, because you get to drink coffee and also discuss politics in your country. Because in Tibet, what has been happening for many, many years is that young Tibetan bloggers and social media activists For them, all expressions, all avenues for expressions are criminalized by the government, citing legal provisions, actually misusing their own laws and constitutional provisions. So the going is really tough for Tibetan bloggers, young Tibetan bloggers. Just early this year, we had the news about a young university student in Tibet who was detained because he dared to write about, to blog about Tibetans who were self-immolating, burning their bodies to protest against policies in the People's Republic of China. So, so my question is, well, speaking of coffee, I would also like to mention that you drink coffee and you discuss politics. But in Tibet, what happens is that people like you, young people who dare to discuss not only politics, but things like, mundane things like, oh, I heard that there was one of my friends got arrested by the police. These are criminalized because people just don't have the right to express what is happening in their surroundings. Everything is criminalized. All avenues, right to information. There is active suppression of, rights that we take for granted in democratic societies. So what happens is that in many of these instances, the government agents send you an invitation for tea. So these tea drinking sessions with the government agents are actually a way to intimidate and pressure these young bloggers and social media activists to say that, okay, back off. You cannot talk about this. This is banned topics. And it has been happening in Tibet and in China, elsewhere in China for many years, whatever you talk about, if it is critical of government, your expression is criminalized. And what happens at these tea drinking sessions is that you are actively intimidated. You are threatened with arrest, with torture, with illegal imprisonment. So this is not to say that I underestimate the real challenges that you face in Cambodia, the change that you have been waiting so long, for change in the political system. But I believe that there are a lot of things that young Tibetans inside Tibet can learn from your experiences. So my question is, Tibetans, they live and work and express in an environment where all avenues for expressions are criminalized. So how can they make use of this very limited space to express themselves? Again, I would like to stress that things that we take for granted in open societies, like in India, for instance, Facebook, Twitter, these are all banned. So what the young Tibetans do is that they take advantage of the domestic social media services like Weibo, for instance. So, but these are very limited because they function under a very strict censorship regime and a very sophisticated surveillance system. So what is your advice to the young Tibetans trying to express themselves in a very limited space? Thank you so much.
It's a very tough question. I think, should I start? Yeah, situation in your country, in Tibet, is so suppressed. If you compare with my government, even though he's in 36 years in power, but he still opened the space for young people to talk, to discuss, and has a social media. But in your country, it's very, I would say unfortunate that Chinese government so much suppressed. And I would really say that sympathize the burning is, to me, I find it not a solution. I see young people of your country should be more like writing. I don't see much in terms of writing at the international media to advocate. But when I heard from Tibet, I heard about burning. This is, I feel really feel unfortunate and very painful period. Buddhist society, the same we said about that. And I really have no idea how to do. I don't know, understand how much you can do inside Chinese. If you can mobilize, people to have a coffee shop, and can young people come to share information, I think is the best way. And then the only thing is Tibetan outside the Chinese, outside China, can write something, advocate. You have 6 million, I heard this morning. You can write something, international community, lobby and convene. And Poltikoffee also inspired Indonesian in West Java. One of my friends there, he created a similar Poltikoffee style group discussion. Same, he's inspired. So it's good if you can organize a group of discussion in your inside, share information secretly, and link with your people around the world. This is what I can say. I don't understand my brother.
Actually, I just want to share with that question. I'm not sure about the situation in Tibet, but I know that. But exactly, those who are living there, you can understand the reality. So cultural activities. I'm not sure whether it is possible or not in Tibet. If you can, you know that there is a music program, right? A drama. Through that, you can engage more young generation together in one place. Then you can group. You can talk. Though I think if you can think on that to arrange some cultural activities. If it is not, because in my country, like, see, that is once YouTube was banned, and Viber, in the last couple of months back, Viber was stopped by the government agencies people. So even the Facebook could be stopped. So what shall I do? So in that case, I think that the ground level activities, that is very important, like arranging some cultural activities. Through that, you can pass the messages. Thank you.
And could you pass the microphone to this gentleman? Yeah.
Well, these young people are so smart and strategic. I wish I was that smart and strategic when I was of that age. Bangladesh, for example. I'm Badiul Alam Majumdar from Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, about 2/3 of our population are young people. So that creates great potential. That creates the potential for demographic dividend. And if we could provide proper education, proper healthcare, and right kind of attitude, we could really achieve this potential that is there, demographic dividends. At the same time, we are also standing on a powder keg. These young people can make our country heaven as well as hell. If they don't get right kind of education and they are derailed, then that country could be hell. So I want to hear from these young people in this situation. I know many other countries face this kind of situation. What can we do? Your experience as young people and what insight you have, how can we really make sure that we don't turn into hell? And that's what I want to hear.
Okay, why don't we just let each of you answer that, and that'll be our conclusion. So, Elina, we'll start with you and work this way.
I would concur with what the Honorable Dalai Lama said in the morning, that emotional, spiritual development is as important as material development in education. And I think for far too long, at least I can say that from the perspective of my country, we have we try to focus too much on rote learning, on material development, on memorization instead of critical thinking, instead of character development, instead of kind of like a holistic type of education. So I was fortunate enough to have been educated both in Indonesia and then in Australia. So I understand both sides of the story, and my children now kind of experience Singapore education as well as American education. So I kind of see it. I kind of see the, kind of like how different systems educate their children. And I would always advocate for more character building and a more holistic approach to than just kind of rote learning and memorization. Because if we want our young people to be involved in politics, if we want them to lead, we need them to be able to think. We need them to be able to assess situation, to assess risks. We need them to have the wisdom to, as they filter information. And they don't get that from rote learning.
স্যার প্রশ্নটা তো ছিল মানে অর্থাৎ এই অন্ধকার থেকে কিভাবে আলোতে আসা যাবে এই তো হ্যাঁ No, that's true actually, but this is why the